Ladies, listen closely. This is the truth nobody else will tell you. Avoidants, those who run away from intimacy and emotion, think they hold the power. But what if I told you that when you take this one bold move, they instantly regret ever trying to push you away? Yes, you heard that right. Silence is not what most people expect. It's not weakness, it's not defeat, and it's certainly not a sign that you've given up. Silence is your greatest power when dealing with someone who is avoidant, someone who pushes away, runs from closeness, and tries to control the situation by keeping emotions at bay. When you choose silence, you are taking back control. You're no longer chasing, no longer begging for attention or validation. You're stepping into your own strength, showing that your worth is not dependent on their approval or response. Imagine this: every time you stay silent instead of reacting, you're planting a seed of doubt in their mind. They wonder why you're not responding the way you used to, why your energy has shifted, and why you aren't rushing to fill the silence anymore. That silence speaks volumes. It tells them you've stopped being their emotional safety net, that you no longer play by their rules, and that you've chosen yourself over their games. And for someone who is used to running from feelings and avoiding connection, this is a shock they don't expect and can't ignore. Avoidants are experts at controlling distance. They create space to protect themselves from vulnerability, but silence from you flips the script. It forces them to face the reality of losing you, to feel the emptiness where your voice used to be. That emptiness makes them question their choices, their actions, and their fear of closeness. Silence becomes your silent roar, shaking their foundations without you saying a single word. This silence isn't about ignoring or playing mind games. It's about respecting yourself enough to step back and let the chips fall where they may. It's about creating space for your own peace, your own healing, and your own growth. When you stop feeding into the chaos of their push-pull, you send a powerful message. You are not dependent on their approval, and you are not here to fix what they refuse to face. Silence also gives you the chance to regain your clarity. Instead of reacting impulsively, you create a pause, a space to breathe and understand what you truly want and deserve. It's in that silence that your power grows, because you are no longer tangled in their confusion or emotional withdrawal. You're standing tall, calm, and unshaken. And here's the most important truth: when avoidants realize you've mastered silence, that you're no longer their emotional puppet, regret rushes in. They feel the loss instantly, not because they are ready to commit, but because they know you're slipping through their fingers, and their fear of abandonment turns into fear of losing you forever. So, embrace silence. Let it be your shield and your sword. Let it protect your heart and command their attention without a single word spoken. In silence, you're not invisible, you're invincible, and the avoidance, they will regret the moment they ever underestimated the power of your quiet strength. Emotional detachment is not about being cold or uncaring. It is the boldest move you can make when dealing with avoidance. Because avoidants thrive on chaos and confusion, they push and pull, retreat and reappear, always keeping you off balance. But when you choose emotional detachment, you send a clear, undeniable message. You are no longer at their mercy. You are no longer tangled in their emotional games. You are free, whole, and in control of your own heart. That shift shakes their world to its core. Think about it: when you detach emotionally, you stop being the person who bends over backwards to keep the connection alive. You stop obsessing over every text, every silence, every mixed signal. You reclaim your energy and redirect it to yourself. And the moment avoidants see this change, that you are no longer emotionally invested, their regret hits instantly. They realize they have lost the person who once chased them with open arms, the person who forgave too easily and tolerated too much. Now you're different. You're distant, not because you hate them, but because you love yourself enough not to chase someone who refuses to meet you halfway. Emotional detachment doesn't mean shutting down your heart. It means protecting your heart. It means giving yourself permission to stop suffering over someone who cannot or will not show up fully. It means breaking the cycle of pain and confusion. When you detach, you show avoidance that your happiness and peace are not contingent on their approval or presence. This is terrifying for them because it strips away their power. They no longer have the emotional leverage to manipulate you or keep you dangling in uncertainty. In that space of detachment, you become magnetic in ways avoidance can't resist. Your calm confidence, your refusal to beg or plead, your radiant independence, all of it makes them stop and regret the way they treated you. They realize they took for granted a heart that was willing to love, but now that heart is guarded and focused on self-respect. You are no longer an option or a fallback. You are a standard they failed to meet. And here's the truth they don't want to face. When you detach emotionally, you open the door for something better. You make room for relationships where love is mutual, respect is given freely, and emotional safety is guaranteed. Your detachment from avoidance isn't a loss, it's a victory. It's you reclaiming your power, your dignity, and your right to be loved fully and fiercely. So don't fear emotional detachment. Don't confuse it with giving up or being heartless. It is your boldest move. It is your armor and your liberation. When you detach, you take control of your story. You write a new chapter where you come first, where your happiness isn't dependent on someone who can't meet you emotionally. And the avoidance, they regret it instantly because they lost the one who refused to settle for less than she deserves. Remember, detachment is not the end, it's the beginning of your freedom. It's the moment you say, I love myself more than I fear being alone. And that, my dear, is the most powerful move you can ever make. Raising your standards is the ultimate act of self-respect, and it's the bold move that avoidance fear the most. Because avoidance survive in a world where boundaries are blurred and where your value is up for negotiation. But when you raise your standards, you draw a clear line, a line that says, I am worthy of respect, love, and consistency, and I will no longer settle for anything less. This simple but powerful declaration instantly shakes avoidance to their core, leaving them filled with regret for ever trying to treat you as less than you are. Imagine living in a world where you stop accepting half-hearted efforts, mixed signals, and emotional unavailability. Imagine saying no to those who refuse to meet you fully, who push you away and then expect you to wait patiently for their affection. Raising your standards means you refuse to be an option, you refuse to be the person who is left waiting, wondering, and hurting. You make it clear that your time, energy, and heart are precious, and you won't waste them on someone who doesn't value them equally. This bold move changes everything. It strips away the old patterns where you tried to earn their love, where you lowered your expectations just to hold on. Instead, you step into a new reality where you expect honesty, effort, and emotional availability. And when avoidants see this, their regret is instant. They realize they pushed away someone who wouldn't put up with their avoidance any longer. They see that they lost a rare gem, someone who recognized her worth and refused to settle for crumbs. Raising your standards isn't about punishing anyone. It's about loving yourself enough to demand what you deserve. It's about honoring your own heart by refusing to accept less than respect, kindness, and emotional safety. And when avoidants are confronted with this, it's a powerful wake-up call. They suddenly understand that their games, their emotional walls, and their fear of closeness have cost them dearly. This move also frees you from endless frustration and heartbreak. No more explaining yourself, no more justifying your feelings, no more bending over backwards for someone who can't or won't meet you. Instead, you create space for healthy love, for partners who match your energy and match your heart. You open the door to relationships built on mutual respect and genuine connection. And here's the most important truth: raising your standards isn't a punishment, it's a promise to yourself. A promise that you will never again settle for less than you deserve. It's a declaration that you will no longer play small, wait quietly, or dim your light to make others comfortable. You are choosing to shine brighter than ever before, and that light will attract the right people, not the avoidants who run from commitment. So stand tall and raise your standards unapologetically. Let your self-respect be loud and clear. Know that this bold move will make avoidants regret the moment they ever thought they could keep you at arm's length. Because once you value yourself fully, no one else's fear or avoidance can diminish your worth. This is your power, your freedom, your ultimate act of love for yourself. And the world, especially those avoidants, will never forget it. When you stop being available on demand, everything changes. Avoidants have grown used to the idea that you're always there ready to answer their calls, respond to their messages, and pick up the pieces when they pull away. They rely on your constant availability to keep their emotional distance safe, knowing that no matter how far they push, you'll be waiting. But the moment you stop being instantly reachable, the moment you create space and refuse to be their emotional safety net 24/7, their whole world shifts. They regret it instantly. This isn't about playing games or acting cold. It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your life. It's about showing up for yourself first and refusing to bend your schedule around someone who doesn't value your presence the way you deserve. When you stop being on call for their emotional whims, avoidants are forced to confront a reality they hate, that you are not theirs to control, to text whenever it suits them, or to ignore when it doesn't. Imagine the power of putting down your phone and living your life fully pursuing your passions, building your dreams, and surrounding yourself with people who respect your time. When avoidants realize you're no longer waiting by the phone or refreshing messages, panic sets in. Suddenly, their escape route is gone. They can't just disappear and expect you to be there, waiting with open arms. Your unavailability becomes the mirror reflecting their avoidance back at them, and they don't like what they see. By setting this boundary, you communicate something vital. Your time and presence are valuable, and you won't waste them on someone who only shows up when it's convenient. Avoidants thrive in ambiguity, but when you establish clear limits on your availability, you take away their comfort zone. This forces them to reconsider their behavior because they realize that if they want to keep you, they have to meet you where you are consistent, respectful, and present. This bold move shifts the balance of power. Instead of being the one who chases and waits, you become the one who chooses when and how to engage. You become unpredictable in the best way possible, a person with a life so full and rich that avoidance can no longer take you for granted. Your unavailability creates curiosity, desire, and a fear of loss that no amount of running can erase. And the most important thing, you don't owe anyone constant access to your life. Your energy is sacred. Your boundaries are non-negotiable. When you protect your time and space, you honor your worth. You make it impossible for avoidance to treat you like an option or a fallback. They regret their choices because they realize they lost someone who refused to be endlessly available without reciprocity. So stop being on demand. Stop answering every call, every message, every mood swing. Live your life with intention and fullness. Let your absence speak louder than any desperate text or empty promise ever could. The moment you do this, avoidants feel the regret instantly, the regret of losing a heart that would no longer wait silently for someone too afraid to show up. Remember, your time is your power. Your presence is your gift. And when you decide to give it only to those who truly deserve it, you become unstoppable. Avoidance will regret it, but by then, you will already be far beyond their reach, living the life you've always deserved. When you focus on self, love, and personal growth, something extraordinary happens. You transform from someone waiting for validation into a force that commands respect without even trying. Avoidants are drawn to confusion and insecurity because it keeps them in control. But when you pour your time, energy, and heart into yourself, investing in your own happiness and growth, you send a clear, undeniable message. You don't need them to feel whole, and that realization, it terrifies them and makes them regret their every choice instantly. Self-love is not selfish, it is the foundation of your power. It means you stop looking outside for approval and start recognizing your own worth. When you cultivate love for yourself, you no longer tolerate disrespect, games, or emotional distance. You build a life so rich and full of joy, purpose, and confidence that their avoidance becomes meaningless. Your happiness is no longer tied to their presence or absence, it is rooted deep within you, and this shift is magnetic. Personal growth is the path to freedom. It means learning from the past, healing your wounds, and refusing to repeat the same painful cycles. It means becoming the best version of yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. When avoidants see you evolving, glowing with confidence, and standing tall in your truth, regret washes over them like a tidal wave. They see the person they tried to hold back, the person they pushed away, flourishing without them. That vision stings because it reminds them of what they lost. Focusing on yourself also means setting boundaries that protect your energy. You stop saying yes when you want to say no. You stop sacrificing your peace for someone who can't give you theirs. This unwavering commitment to your well-being makes avoidants panic because they realize their usual tactics no longer work. They can't confuse you, guilt you, or pull you back with empty promises. Your self-love is your shield, and the beauty of this is that self-love and growth aren't just about avoiding pain, they are about attracting real love. When you shine with authenticity and confidence, you draw people who honor you, who meet you where you are, and who cherish your light. Avoidants see this new reality and regret that they were ever the ones to dim your glow. They regret every moment they made you question your worth. This transformation changes everything. You go from being someone who feared losing love to someone who fears losing herself if she stays in toxic cycles. You become a queen who refuses to settle for less, who demands respect, and who loves fiercely, but only with those who deserve it. That power scares avoidants because they know they can't keep you trapped in avoidance forever. So make yourself a priority. Pour love into your soul like it's the most precious treasure because it is. Chase growth relentlessly, embrace your flaws and strengths alike, and build a life that feels like freedom. When you do this, avoidants regret their choices instantly because they lost someone who finally chose herself. And that, my dear, is the most powerful move you can ever make. When you finally walk away, really walk away without hesitation, without looking back, that moment is the ultimate power move that leaves avoidants crippled with regret. Because avoidants depend on the idea that you will always be there, that no matter how far they push you away, you will stay close enough to catch them when they return. But when you choose to leave with conviction, you break their illusion. You shatter the safety net they thought they had, and suddenly they are faced with the harsh reality. You're gone, and they didn't value you enough to keep you. Walking away is not about anger or revenge. It's not a game or a test. It is the clearest expression of your self-worth. It says, I refuse to be someone's fallback plan. I refuse to be stuck in a cycle of uncertainty and emotional unavailability. I choose peace, dignity, and love on my terms. And when avoidants see you walking away, they are hit with a wave of instant regret. Because they realize what they had was rare and precious, and now it's slipping through their fingers forever. There is an undeniable power in finality. When you walk away and truly mean it, you stop being their safety blanket and become a mystery they can't unravel. Your absence creates a void that they desperately try to fill, but they know deep down that once trust and respect are broken, they can never fully regain what they lost. This void gnaws at them the what-ifs, the lost chances, the recognition that they pushed away someone who genuinely cared. Walking away also frees you. It liberates you from the emotional roller coaster that avoidants drag you through, the chasing, the wondering, the hoping. You reclaim your energy and open the door to a future where love is mutual, consistent, and fulfilling. That freedom is priceless, and it's something avoidance will regret losing you for every single day. And here's the truth. Walking away is the moment you stop pleading for attention, validation, or affection. It's the moment you say to yourself, I am enough, I am worthy. I deserve love that doesn't require me to fight for it. When you hold that truth, you no longer look back, no longer wait by the phone, and no longer give space to someone who doesn't prioritize you. Avoidants fear walking away more than anything because it means losing control. They know that if you leave and don't return, their emotional walls will stay up, and their chance at true connection will slip away. That fear turns into regret instantly, a regret that is raw, deep, and often lifelong. So if you want to make avoidants regret their choices, the boldest move you can make is to walk away with your head held high and your heart unbroken. Leave behind the pain, the confusion, and the games. Step into a life where your worth is never questioned and your love is always returned. When you do this, avoidants will feel the loss like a storm inside them, and your strength will echo in their silence forever. Remember, walking away is not the end, it's the beginning of your true freedom, and that, more than anything else, is the most powerful move you will ever make.